The flame turns green. That is how you know it is coming. In the villages of northern Vietnam, they taught their children one rule above all others. If the lamp beside your bed begins to glow green, do not scream. Do not run. Bang on the walls. Bang on the bed frame. Make as much noise as you can, because if you stay silent, it will feed. They look like anyone else. That is the worst part. During the day, the creature called Ma Cà Rồng works the fields alongside you. He laughs at your jokes. He helps carry your harvest. He has a wife. He has children who play with your children. And when you ask him what he did last night, he will look at you with honest confusion in his eyes, because he genuinely does not remember. The first person to write it down was Lê Kỳ Jôn, one of the greatest scholars in Vietnamese history. In the 18th century, he traveled to the province of Hung Hoa in the far northwest and recorded what the people there told him. His words have survived for over 250 years. Listen carefully. From the districts of Tuong Pu to Ha Lo, there are demon people called Ma Cà Rồng. By day, they work and live as ordinary men, but when night falls, he puts his two big toes into his nostrils, and he flies. I need you to picture this. A man, lying in his bed beside his sleeping wife, reaches down in the darkness and pushes his toes into his own nose. His body begins to compress. His ears stretch outward, growing wider, flatter, until they become something like wings. His torso, his legs, his arms, all of it folds inward, shrinking, until what remains is barely larger than a human head, and then it rises, through the cracks in the roof, into the night sky. It flies without sound, or almost without sound. Some accounts describe a faint humming, like an insect too large to exist. It moves above the tree line, scanning the villages below for one thing and one thing only, the scent of blood, specifically the blood of a woman who has just given birth. She is asleep, exhausted from the birth. Her newborn lies beside her, wrapped in cloth. The oil lamp on the shelf flickers once, then again. She does not see the flame change color, from the warm orange of safety to the cold, sickly green of something arriving. Through the gap between the roof planks, something is pressing inward, something with no body, something with very large ears and a very, very long tongue. Lê Kỳ Jôn wrote, "It enters the houses of women in childbirth to suck their blood. The person does not know. Most of them die. No screaming, no struggle. The victim simply never wakes up. The village finds her in the morning, pale, drained, with no wound they can explain. The baby sometimes survives, sometimes it does not." Before the fifth drum of the morning watch, the creature returns. It lands on the roof. It re-enters its own body, which has been lying motionless all night. And then, a ritual. It soaks its feet in water stained with tomac, the red-brown dye of the sappanwood tree. Why? No one knows. Perhaps to wash away the evidence. Perhaps because the transformation demands it. And when his wife wakes beside him and asks what happened, he says, "Nothing. I slept well." What makes this legend extraordinary is that it was not just one scholar who recorded it. 3 separate Vietnamese historians, across 2 centuries, documented the Ma Cà Rồng independently. Lê Kỳ Jôn in his Kien Vun Tu Luc, Truong Quoc Dung in his Thoai Thuk Ki Vun, and Pham Thanh Duat in his Hung Hoa Ki Luoc. Each added details the others missed. Each insisted they were recording fact, not fiction. Truong Quoc Dung added something the others did not. He described how to identify a Ma Cà Rồng in daylight. "They are no different from ordinary people," he wrote, "except that their forehead is red and their eyes show too much white. They prefer to live alone." He wrote that at night, the creature puts its big toes into its nostrils and holds its own ears as wings. And he added the detail about the lamp, that when a Ma Cà Rồng approaches, the light changes to a blue-green color. And the only defense is noise. Bang on the walls, bang on the bed frame, drive it away with sound. Among the Thai Jin people of the Northwest, there are 2 kinds of Ma Cà Rồng. The first is hereditary, passed through the bloodline like a disease of the soul. Your grandmother was one, your mother was one, and you will be one too. There is no cure, there is no escape. From the day you are born, the curse runs in your veins, waiting for the night it first takes hold. The second kind is acquired. Someone feeds you cursed food or drink. perhaps a neighbor with a grudge, perhaps a woman scorned. You consume it without knowing, and that night, for the first time, something inside you wakes. You do not choose it. You do not understand it. You simply find yourself standing in your kitchen at 3 in the morning, soaking your feet in sappanwood water, with no memory of where you have been, but your tongue tastes of iron. When a woman in the village died after childbirth with no visible cause, the whispers began immediately. Who was it? Who was the Ma Cà Rồng? Suspicion fell hardest on those who matched the signs. The loners, the ones with reddish foreheads, the ones whose eyes showed too much white. And in a world without science, without explanation, suspicion was often enough. The accused were cast out, or worse. You might think this is all ancient history. It is not. In 2013, Vietnamese news outlets reported on communities in the northwestern provinces, Lai Châu, Son La, Dien Bien, where belief in the Ma Cà Rồng remained absolute. Journalists who traveled there found villages where certain families were completely ostracized, forbidden from marrying into other clans, because their bloodline was believed to carry the curse. These were not stories from the past. These were people living with the consequences right now. Modern researchers have proposed a theory that strips away the supernatural and replaces it with something almost equally terrifying. Rabies. Consider the symptoms: fear of light, fear of water, uncontrollable aggression, nocturnal behavior, the urge to bite. A person infected with rabies in an isolated mountain village, centuries before modern medicine, would have looked exactly like what the legends describe. The monster was real. It was just a different kind of monster. But try telling that to a grandmother in Son La province, who has seen what she has seen, who watched her own sister die 3 days after giving birth, pale as paper, without a single mark on her body. Who knows with the certainty of someone who has lived 80 years in these mountains, that the family on the other side of the valley carries something in their blood that cannot be explained by any virus. Science has its answers, but so does she. The Ma Cà Rồng is unlike any vampire in the world. Dracula is aristocratic, seductive, eternal. The Chinese Zhang Shi is a reanimated corpse that hops through the night. But the Vietnamese vampire is something far more disturbing. It is your neighbor. It is the man who eats dinner with you and genuinely does not know that he spent last night drinking the blood of a pregnant woman through a crack in her ceiling. There is no castle, no coffin, no fangs, just a pair of toes pushed into nostrils and the sound of enormous ears beating against the night air. So here is my question for you. The next time you are lying in bed, in some remote guest house in the mountains of northern Vietnam, and the light beside your bed flickers, just once, and the color seems wrong, just for a moment, what will you do? Will you lie still and tell yourself it was nothing, or will you remember what the people of Hung Hoa have known for 250 years, and start banging on the walls?
He is walking back to his fields now. The sun is rising over Hung Hoa. His feet